Look in thy glass, and tell the face thou viewest. Now is the time that face should form another.
The fact that people say I don't like Shakespeare or Shakespeare's over my head was the entire impetus for me creating New York Shakespeare Exchange. My thought is that Shakespeare was writing for all education levels at his time. So I know that if performed correctly in our modern culture, Shakespeare can tap the ear, get into the brain, get into the soul, find a way to bubble up in a beautiful way.
Thou art thy mother's glass, and she in thee calls back the lovely April of her prime. So thou, through windows of thine age, shalt see, despite of wrinkles, this thy golden time.
I started thinking about the sonnets because they're bite-sized, they are not that familiar to most of our audiences, and they are filled with such Shakespearean beauty. So we're creating 154 films, and each one is representative of one of Shakespeare's sonnets. The way that we have this set up is that each one will be directed by a different director and star a different actor. And each one will also take place in a different location throughout the 5 boroughs of New York. So Sonnet 17, which we placed on the steps of the New York Public Library, that film has a very, very cinematic approach to it. And yet, in its storytelling, it's one of the simplest and most straightforward reads of the sonnet. It's a wonderful actress named Carrie Van Driest standing there speaking the text.
If I could write the beauty of your eyes, and in fresh numbers number all your grace, the age to come would say, this poet lies, such heavenly touches ne'er touched earthly faces.
And she has created her own world in which the sonnet lives, but there's not a ton of extra characters or extra narrative added, which is one of the things that I really love about it, because it does provide this simple approach with a backdrop that is intriguing. That sonnet specifically is about the passage of time, and the director ended up using a high-speed backdrop where we can see people going in and out behind her.
And in my rhyme.
The sonnet that's filmed at the Bethesda Arcade is incredibly cinematic. The way that that director weaves in the different film treatments and tones that are there, it's about memory, and it's about a person who has lost the things that he loves.
When most I wink, then do mine eyes best see, for all the day they view things unrespected. But when I sleep, in dreams they look on thee.
We try to get people who are skilled with the language, but it's not always people who have been playing Prospero or Juliet in major productions throughout the country, though we do have a number of those as well. We first found out that Joanna Gleason was interested in doing a sonnet with us, and about 3 days before the filming, Joanna said, "Oh, well, Chris is coming with me, so if you want to put him in the film," because Chris Sarandon is Joanna Gleason's husband.
Lady Montague, I still don't feel that you've made a complete choice as to why she's there. Is it a matter of her feeling that she has to socially? Whatever the choice is, I know it's going to be the right choice because you're brilliant, as always, okay? Good. But she is a very self-possessed young...
As an unperfect actor on the stage who with his fear is put beside his part, or some fierce thing replete with too much rage, whose strength's abundance weakens his own heart, so I, for fear of trust, forget to say the perfect ceremony of love's rite, and in mine own love's strength seem to decay, or charged with burthen of mine own heart's might. Oh, let my looks be then the eloquence and dumb presagers of my speaking breast, who plead for love and look for recompense more than that tongue that more hath more expressed. Oh, learn to read what silent love hath writ. To hear with eyes belongs to love's fine wit.
I think that's it, guys. So let's break now. We'll come back after lunch and we'll talk some more. Okay, great. Thanks, everybody.
You guys go.
Shakespeare, NYC's original Shakespearean pub crawl, is an idea that we came up with about 5 years ago. We've been doing it for 5 years in New York City. And basically, on a Saturday afternoon, we gather a group of people together, usually between 75 and 100 people. And in one neighborhood, we will take them from bar to bar. In the middle of each visit at the bar, a Shakespearean scene erupts in the middle of the crowd. The person sitting next to you might climb up on top of the bar top, and suddenly she is Juliet. And then Romeo pops up across the bar on the other side, and they perform the balcony scene. And it's really surprising to me how excited the crowd gets watching this.
For your own honor to contain the ring, you would not then have parted with the ring. Yeah.
In 5 years, I'm still amazed every time we do it that it touches people the way it does. And we also have an educational component that's coming up. We've been working on a 2-week curriculum that introduces students to the building blocks of Shakespeare through the Sonnet Project. And in that project, the students will create their own Sonnet Project films using mobile technology. And I think with all of our work, Shakespeare Exchange, we are focused on introducing Shakespeare to people in ways that they may not expect. And from the Sonnet Project to the Shakespeare pub crawls, even to our main stage productions, are opening this text up, and people do walk away saying, I didn't know Shakespeare could do that, or I didn't know I liked Shakespeare. So it's been really gratifying.
But if the while I think on thee, dear friend, all losses are restored, and sorrows end.